as the future. However, the technology just wasn't quite there yet. The handwriting recognition was notoriously unreliable, a flaw that was famously mocked in an episode of The Simpsons. The device was also bulky, expensive, and had a short battery life. The market wasn't ready for it, and the Newton was discontinued in 1998, considered one of Apple's biggest failures. But its legacy is undeniable. The core ideas behind the Newton, a portable, touchscreen interface for managing your digital life, laid the groundwork for the iPhone and the iPad, which would launch a decade later and change the world. The Newton didn't fail because it was a bad idea. It failed because it was a great idea that arrived 15 years too soon. Coming in at number 4 is a vehicle that promised to change urban transportation forever. The Segway, unveiled with immense hype in 2001. Inventor Dean Common claimed it would be more significant than the PC. The Segway was a self-balancing, two-wheeled personal transporter that used sophisticated gyroscopes to stay upright. You simply leaned forward to go forward and leaned back to stop. It was an engineering marvel. The media went wild, predicting that cities would be redesigned around these futuristic machines and that walking would become obsolete. So what happened? Why aren't we all gliding to work on Segways? Well, for a few reasons. First, the price was incredibly high, costing around $5,000 at launch, putting it out of reach for the average consumer. Second, the legal framework wasn't there. Cities didn't know how to classify it. Was it a pedestrian vehicle for the sidewalk or a motor vehicle for the road? This confusion led to bans in many public places. Ultimately, the Segway found its niche with police departments, warehouse workers, and, most famously, city tour groups. While it never became the revolutionary personal transport it was meant to be, its self-balancing technology was incredibly influential and can be seen today in the countless hoverboards and electric unicycles zipping around our cities. Finally, we arrive at our 5th invention, an idea so futuristic it's been a staple of science fiction for over half a century. Virtual reality. We think of VR as a recent development, with headsets like the Oculus Rift or the HTC Vive, but the concept, and even the first working prototypes, date all the way back to the 1960s. In 1968, computer scientist Ivan Sutherland created the first head-mounted display, which he ominously named the Sword of Damocles. It was so heavy that it had to be suspended from the ceiling, hanging over the user's head, hence the name. This primitive device could display simple wireframe computer graphics that changed as a user moved their head, creating the first ever immersive virtual world. It was a staggering achievement for its time, but the computing power required was immense, and the hardware was completely impractical for anyone outside a research lab. For the next few decades, VR remained a niche technology, confined to military simulators and high-end academic projects. It took 50 years for computers to become powerful and small enough, and for display technology to become sharp and cheap enough to make consumer VR a reality. Sutherland's vision in the 60s was a perfect glimpse into the future, but it was a future that took half a century to arrive. So there you have it, 5 inventions that were simply born in the wrong era. From Da Vinci's